We welcome you in here to Tarble Arena. It's Chris LoBosco and Eric Elger with you as we get ready for the second of this doubleheader of Augustana versus Carthage. The Carthage Firebirds at home again, 13-4 on the year, 7-1 in conference play, taking on Augustana with a 10-7 record, a 3-5 in conference record. As we take a look, Eric, at the conference standings, and funny enough, Illinois Wesleyan at the top for the men's as well, but Carthage right behind them with the same record.
Yeah, Illinois Wesleyan, just a class, both men's and women's, in the CCIW, but Carthage will have something to say this season. As you can see, the one Illinois Wesleyan loss in conference was to your Carthage Firebirds, and so you can see the three-headed race there at the top, but you know, I think what's going to make a big difference in the CCIW this season is who is going to slip up in one of these games at home, and hopefully the Firebirds can take care of home court.
Last time that these two teams played, it was an 82-70 win for the Firebirds. Ryan Johnson, one of the leading scorers in that game with 21 points. Tyler Knuth on the other side with 20 for Augustana, but a 12-point victory for them against them. And for Carthage, they want to just continue rolling on. They've had some consideration for the top 25 as well. Not in it, but they've at least had some votes.
And something that Coach Jerkova kind of joked about in a post-game interview about how he's not very good at giving pre-game speeches, because Carthage came out against Augustana really flat. They were down 15-2 to start the game, but then Carthage in the second half really poured it on. Similar to what they did against Carroll, Carthage was losing by 5 going into the halftime break, and then boy did they turn it on. They scored 51 points in the second half, almost doubled up Carroll's production in the second half, and you could see Riley Brooks was the man who was feeling it all night. Started early and continued with the 26 points, but you can see the other similar crew that the Firebirds rely on. A.J. Johnson, always there, always going to get his, and then someone like Griffin Dawn with a double-double, his first double-double of the season, 14 points, 12 rebounds. And you see his shooting wasn't, missed quite a few shots that I think if you asked him, he had more points left on the board there, so expect him to continue to carry an offensive load.
As we get a look here, we see the CCIW ranks for the Firebirds this season, second in points, third for opponents' points as well, so good offensively and defensively, fifth in field goal percentage. 3-point percentage, though, 35% on the year, good for second. They definitely have been really good on the 3-point defense as well.
I mean, you can see why they are 7-1 in the conference. I mean, in the top 4 or 5 in every state or every rank that you can be. And something that I would like to point out that always seems to be a difference at the end of games is Carthage, the free throw percentage, 76%, second in the CCIW. But really, when it comes down to crunch time, they roll it through A.J. Johnson, who is about as automatic as you can be at the free throw line, shooting over 90%. And then here's the Vikings rankings, and you can see kind of like in that middle of the pack where they find a lot of the teams in the CCIW right now. But someone that you got to talk about anytime you talk about the Augustana Vikings is Tyler Knuth, who last game against Carthage put up 20 points, and he is an all CCIW player, both 2023 and 24, someone who shoots 41% from threes and is at 17 points a game. So that's, can Carthage slow down Tyler Knuth, the spearhead of the Viking offense?
A stellar free throw shooter as well, 56 of 61 on the year. That's good for 91, almost 92%, 91.8. So definitely somebody that you don't want to allow him to get to the free throw line either, because he's going to make you pay there as well. As we are just about ready for the lineups to get announced here in just a moment, but we will take a quick timeout and we'll come back with the start of this game between the Vikings and the Firebirds.
CCIW men's basketball game between the visiting Augustana Rockford, Illinois, number 32, Tyler Canute. And at forward, a 6'6" sophomore from Winnebago, Illinois, number 34, Ray Marchie. The head coach of the Vikings is Jordan Dell. Coach Dell is assisted by Malik Wilderman, Kyle Lamont, Pat Doherty, and Ryan Dinkman. All right, Firebird fans, make some noise. It's showtime!
We welcome you back in here to Tarble Arena. Chris LoBosco, Eric Elger here as well as we get ready for the Carthage Firebirds versus the Augustana Vikings. As you can see right now, the starting lineup there, A.J. Williams, Ryan Johnson, Riley Brooks, A.J. Johnson, and Griffin Dawn are the starters for your Firebirds. For the Vikings, Evan Ambrose, Colton Gillingham, Chase Larson, Tyler Knuth, and the last one there was, I believe, Ray, and I want to make Marici as your starters for the Vikings.
Yeah, the Vikings are an experienced crew. Tyler Knuth, we'd mentioned before, a fifth-year senior. Evan Ambrose started every game this season, played a lot for them last year. He's been around, and so an experienced squad that's going to be a tough test for the Firebirds tonight.
Johnson not able to win that tip, so it'll be Ambrose controlling for the Vikings here at the top of the key so far. Passes it off to Marici. Marici coming down the near side, passing it off to a player off the pick around. Ambrose, Marici can't handle the ball, and wisely not trying to just control it was Dawn, allowing that one to just go out and now get the inbound.
Dawn had dreams of taking that basket, or taking that ball to the other side and dunking it down, but yeah, he realized couldn't get to it without, sometimes guys try to get that and step out of bounds, but made the right decision there.
Oh, traveled there though, did Dawn. Kind of lost his feet as he picked up his dribble, and that'll be a turnover by the Firebirds.
Yeah, it looked like almost Marici pulled the chair on him a little bit there, and just, he's like was expecting to
a little more contact on his back. Yeah. Speaking of contact, ground contacted there by Williams as this shot goes up on the far side. Rebound controlled by Dawn, and now Dawn will push it up the court. Quickly back on the other side, and driving in is Williams. Passes it back out instead. Wasn't any room to get into the paint. Johnson now controlling at the top of the key. As now the shot from 3 deep, not able to get it to fall though, was Riley Brooks. Rebound there, ends up bouncing off of a Viking player, I believe, so we're going to stay here with the Firebirds.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson put a little pressure on there and able to get the ball back to the Firebirds. And something that Riley Brooks did last game was kind of use his inside game to open up the outside game. And it seemed like he got some confident shots at the basket early, and that's allowed him to make those threes later. Here, missing the three-point shot early.
Johnson into the paint, right-handed floater, good, makes it a 2-0 game, first basket.
Yeah, A.J. Johnson, so good with the basketball and so good at stopping on a dime and getting a shot off. As you can see, just able to get a sliver of daylight and gets the shot up and in. Carthage on the scoreboard.
As Knuth had the ball here on the near side, and it got poked away from him, and I think he ended up tipping it back out, though. So it'll be back to the Firebirds, causing a turnover here, and we're going to get a little bit of full court pressure from the Vikings.
And how about that? You can see Griffin Dawn getting the Tyler Knuth assignment early in there, able to get a hand in and knock the ball off of Tyler Knuth's legs. So look for that matchup. I mean, that's something Griffin Dawn, A.J. Williams always get the toughest assignments on defense, and more often than not, they come out on top.
Williams passing the ball over to the far side, driving in with the right hand. Looked like a piece of it was got by the Vikings on Brooks' shot, so now it'll be back down the other way for the Vikings as they will set up their offense on the near side. Cross-court pass, looking to drive in, back outside for the right elbow 3. That one will hit off the back rim and then be picked up by number 30 in Hamilton, and then quickly driving in for the basket there. Looked like that was Marici. Or sorry, no, that was Knuth.
Yeah, Knuth is someone that they really rely a lot upon. I mean, there's a reason he's been all conference the last 2 seasons, and this 3rd season he's even upped his scoring averages higher than they've been the past 2 years. So
3-point corner, good from Riley Brooks, as it'll be 5-2 now. The Firebirds back out in front, but Vikings quickly pushing that ball back up court.
Yeah, Riley Brooks, someone who shoots with confidence every time. Didn't hit his first couple shots, but there you can see going to continue to let it fly and knocks it down.
You can see they wanted a travel call there for the player falling to the ground. Marici driving in, can't get the basket, gets his own rebound, trying to spin away, will throw it back outside over for Ambrose, and Ambrose will slow things back down now. 3-pointer from the top of the key, rebounded, and now it's back over to the Firebirds as they will now come back the other way with Brooks controlling as they move that ball quickly back over to the near corner. Driving in was Williams, kind of lost the handle there, but he got a little bit of help, bounced off of a Viking player.
Yeah, it looks like a Viking defender able to just kind of swat it off his knee, but unfortunately for the Firebirds, able to get it back. And that was a good look for A.J. Williams. He's someone that you got to close out hard on because he is a electric 3-point shooter and took it to the basket as we see Riley Brooks staying aggressive.
Able to get himself free off of a screen there on the inbound play and just float that one in. But quickly into the paint is the Vikings, as it was Ambrose, and now back outside. Knuth passing it back out as it'll come over to the near side. Shot from the 3, Ambrose, no good, and that one poked away. And they're pointing that's Firebirds' ball. I think if you're the Firebirds, you take that one because that looked like it went off of Griffin Dawn.
I mean, Griffin Dawn's one of those guys that always around the basket, so basketball, and there you can see able to maybe poke it off the Viking defender, but either way, it's going the Gray's way.
Firebirds will be happy with that. Almost lost the handle there. Was Johnson able to get that one back outside so they can work it around. Ryan Johnson now passing it back over to A.J. Johnson. A.J. Johnson dribbles to the right hand, spins back away. Back over to Ryan Johnson, inside, right hand, can't get it to fall. Rebound to the Vikings.
Tough look there, just trying to muscle it through and not able to connect.
Quickly back on the other side, it's number 22 and Anthony Cooper getting another 2 points to make this a 4-7 game. So first half here, still early on in it, but been a little bit tough to buy a basket for either team.
Yeah, a little slow start for both teams, and on that last possession, Augustana really able to get down the court quickly.
Ryan Johnson getting fouled as he was driving in on the near side baseline. So we'll see if they called him in the air. I think they did, so he's going to go to the line for 2.
So Ryan Johnson, 2 aggressive plays there, wasn't able to connect last possession, but there, taking it to the basket. And he's someone who can be as confident from the free throw line, close to 75% free throw shooter, so can get his points at the stripe with the best of them.
Gets that first one to roll in off the front rim. As we will see if he can sink this second one to make it a 9-4 game, and he hits nothing but the bottom of the net. 9-4 now in favor of the Firebirds.
Carthage done a nice job defensively on Tyler Knuth so far. I know it's early, but he's had some looks, but they have not been comfortable looks. You can see Griffin Dawn staying out with them.
He tried to go for the underneath, couldn't quite get it to fall, and now we're back onto the offensive end for the Firebirds. A.J. Johnson slowing things down here, have some tough defense on him, and Danny Romero going to get called. Went to swat at the ball, and I guess he got a piece of the hand. He didn't like the call, but he's going to get himself a personal foul.
That was something that kind of bothered A.J. Johnson last game, is that they really were physical with him as he was dribbling the ball and caused a few turnovers, uncharacteristic turnovers from A.J., but there you can see staying strong with the ball and just picking up the foul.
Gets it over to Riley Brooks. Riley Brooks had some tough defense played against him, picked his pocket, and now it's back the other way for the Vikings. Romero back out up top to Knuth, who comes back over to the far side, as now they're looking inside for Marici, who will be able to work his way around the basket and get it in to make it 9-6.
Marici, kind of an do-it-all sophomore for the Vikings, and you can see how strong he can be, and he's someone that I think if you're a Vikings fan, you got to like the future for number 34.
Ball moving around on the outside, driving in and dishing was Griffin Dawn. Whistle. I think there was a defensive foul there, so personal foul. So see where I think that's the 4th team foul already, they just said too. So piling up the personal fouls for Augustana.
That's something that Carthage has kind of had a knack of doing, is getting fouls early, getting to the free throw line, and you saw they're second in the conference in free throw shooting, so that is a huge component to their offense. And Carthage, we talked about it before, they've had some games where they were perfect from the free throw line, and A.J. Johnson, so smooth.
It was a great pick that set him up for that shot too, and now the Vikings quickly pushing it back in transition, though they don't waste any time coming down the court. That's for sure. Knuth over on the far side playing that little two-man game. Gets it back off the pick and roll, driving in after the matchup switch. Marici back over to the near side for Gillingham. Gillingham driving into the paint, can't get the shot off, decides to just pass it back out to Ambrose. Free throw line shooter, no good. Rebound going over to Carthage. Good defense there to not make it an easy shot.
Yeah, that was a nice job of Sigel, really locked up Knuth in the mismatch, and they couldn't take advantage of it, and Carthage solid defensively.
As they pass this one inside, work it back out to the near corner, driving baseline, and yeah, I thought he might have stepped out of bounds, and he did for Griffin Dawn. Or no, they called a personal foul. I thought he pointed at the baseline there.
So yeah, Griffin Dawn, nice job. Doesn't take a ton of threes, but there he's enough of a threat that Knuth had to think about it, and able to pick up a foul on a key player for Augustana as they both take a bit of a breather.
So that was personal foul number 4 for the Vikings. So either way, it's going to be the ball for A.J. Johnson. Now getting it over. Can't quite get the shot to fall for Ryan Johnson, but he's going to go to the line.
And there the brothers connecting as A.J. able to find his brother, who's not able to get the basket, but able to draw a foul, and now 5 fouls for Augustana. Carthage still with 0. So again, it's worth mentioning, I mean, a team as good at free throw shooting as Carthage is, I mean, you really don't want to get into a point where you're fouling them and getting to the free throw line, especially this early in the game.
Ryan Johnson on the year, 74% from the free throw line. Hit his first one. See if he can hit his second one here with 13:09 left to go in this first half. 6-point lead for Carthage as of now. Make that 7.
We talked about how Augustana last time opened up the game on a 15-2 run. Here Carthage reversing the score a little bit, 13-6 here to start the game.
Driving inside is number 20, and Gillingham kind of got caught out. Passed it back outside to Ambrose, almost lost the handle. Free throw jumper bounces in to make it 13-8.
Yeah, you'll live with that with your coach, Jurkovic. A.J. Johnson being aggressive, almost gets that steal, and that would have been an easy 2 on the other end. And you could see Ambrose just able to kind of pick up the pieces and get to the free throw line and knock it down.
Baseline jumper, no good, and now it'll come back over for Augustana as it'll be Ambrose carrying it up court. Passes it off to the far side over to Gillingham. Gillingham to the near side to one of the players who checked in, and Cooper, his shot bounces off the back of the rim. Back to Cooper for 3. This one rims out one more time. Offensive rebound again. That's going to be a foul. I think they're going to probably call this one on Ryan Johnson. Got in there and a little too aggressive on the rebound.
Yeah, Cooper, their second best three-point shooter, got 2 opportunities there, unable to capitalize, but he shoots 35% from the three-point line. So, correction, Colton Gillingham, the second best three-point shooter, but Anthony Cooper right there. So you'd expect someone to get 2 opportunities, maybe knock one of them down, unable to.
He's handling the ball up top is Cooper, passing it around the perimeter. They get it back over to Ambrose, driving in with the right hand, threw it off of a Firebird defender. Now they'll end up wrestling for the ball. That should be a jump ball. Arrow points, possession, Firebirds. So, Firebirds ball.
And it doesn't take long for a fan favorite of ours, Nemi Ostojic, to get in the mix there. Not afraid, the 5th-year senior, not afraid to dive on the floor, mix it up. A very passionate player for the Firebirds, and last game had a huge stretch where he put about 6 points together in a row by himself, and they needed that last game. And
I think Garrett Arnold going to draw the foul, actually, it looks like. And you can hear there's some Augustana fans that weren't too happy about that, but if you're the Firebirds, that's another foul onto the side of Augustana, getting close to that bonus time. 13-8 the score, as it's Colton Siegel with the ball on the near side, gives it off to A.J. Williams. Siegel now from 3, right elbow, hits nothing but the bottom of the net, 16-8.
Siegel a threat from the three-point line. You know if he's on the floor, what his main priority is to do is to knock down threes, and there he did his first shot of the game.
Augustana now controlling the ball up top, looking for something on that far side. As going in is Ambrose, swings around, doesn't get that one to fall. Rebound, and now they're pushing it up court onto the near side. A.J. Williams looking for somebody, has a wide open player down low, waits for the player to go by, and that was Ryan Johnson getting another basket, the lead up to 10.
You can see the Firebird bench fired up for Colton Siegel there, able to get the defensive rebound, was falling out of bounds, passes it up, and Carthage was off to the races, and someone forgot to pick up Ryan Johnson down low and gets the easy basket, and an early 10-point lead. And this is something that Carthage has really been burned by, is starting out slow in the first half. This, a complete difference. I mean, holding Augustana just 8 points, 9 minutes into the game.
Like you said, much better start for them. And one thing I noticed too, Coach Jurkovic, he is a very animated guy over on that sideline. Something that when I was a coach in lacrosse, I was not quite as animated as he is, but
if you can believe it, he's cooled off since his first year. We've talked with Coach Jurkovic, and I think his first year he even mentioned about how you just got to learn to like pick your battles as a coach. And his inaugural year here at the helm, he was picking essentially every battle there was to be picked. So, but now I would say Coach Jurkovic still picks his spots, but if you think something is not right, he'll let you know.
As you could hear him calling that one out, nobody came over off the screen, and Ambrose gets free to the basket to make this a 8-point game once again, as Arnold will now carry it back up for the Firebirds.
Yeah, Garrett Arnold, someone who Coach Jurkovic really relies on to just be a ball handler when he comes in there. Won't always take a bunch of shots, but secure at the ball.
Ryan Johnson hits the floor of his shot. Looks like he's going to the line for 2. As those personal fouls piling up right now for the Firebirds. Absorbed a lot of contact there and was within that semicircle as well, so easy call for the officials. As the first one up and good for Johnson as he makes it now a 19-10 game with 10:44 left to go here in this first half.
And Ryan Johnson really been getting to the free throw line a lot. Just so aggressive down there, and he's lots of handle. I mean, it sometimes feels like all you can do is follow him and hope for the best, but there he is, knocking down all his free throws, and Griffin Dawn, the defensive wrecker, re-enters.
Evan Ambrose carrying the ball up court for the Vikings, driving with the left hand, stops right around the free throw line as they get it to Knuth. Knuth on the right side, spins in towards the paint. Can't get that one to fall. Good rebound by number 33 in Ostojevic as it'll now come over to the near side as they quickly work into their offense for the Firebirds. Handoff on the dribble drive there, trying to pass it back into the middle, but couldn't get it over to that player in the middle in Ostojevic, and instead we're going to have a whistle on the other end.
Yeah, just forcing it a little. I mean, you kind of saw it there, but just too many Viking arms in the way to get that connection. And we've seen it a couple times. You see Augustana, they're making no doubt about it, is that they are trying to push it up to the other side of the floor and take early shots. And there they're able to draw the foul, get to the line.
As that first one is up and good from Chase Larson. As now he'll get his second opportunity. A couple substitutions coming in there as well. As Larson on the year for, will take that second one and hit nothing but the bottom of the net. And that one, 78% is his free throw shooting percentage this year for Chase Larson. Ooh, they put the trap on here, able to break it though effectively as they get it up to A.J. Johnson, who will have to just pass it back outside, but a wide open three opportunity. Can't get it to fall though, was Garrett Arnold.
Yeah, Arnold just left alone after beating the trap, not able to connect, but a good look.
As the Vikings now working this one down to the low block, trying to drive into the paint, takes that floating shot is number 12 in Matt Hawkins, and he makes it a 6-point game, 14-20.
Garrett Arnold still looking, I mean, someone who has played some minutes, still looking to get his first bucket of the season, and I think that's why you can see the Carthage bench really anticipating that three-pointer he took, want to see him get it through the basket.
Ball comes near baseline, driving and getting fouled was A.J. Johnson, so he'll go to the line for two. And one thing for sure, they've gotten a lot of fouls called against them for the Vikings, so
I mean, it's kind of funny. It's something I've mentioned a few times that Coach Jurkovic, a standout player here at Carthage, and one of the things he was most effective at, he was eventually the D3 Player of the Year.
Oh, wow.
I mean, one of the things he was effective at was getting points at the free throw line. And it's funny to me that he has a kid in A.J. Johnson who's almost plays a very similar game and just automatic from the free throw line. And, you know, if that's part of your game, it's such a way that you can continue to be a threat offensively because, yeah, if you get fouled and knock down 93% of your free throws, that is tough to stop.
A.J. Johnson had only his 8th missed free throw of the season on that last time down. Some good defense here by the Firebirds causing the turnover too. So now they'll be able to go the other way. But just to illustrate your point, he's only missed 8 free throws. He's a 92% free throw shooter. That's incredible.
And it's not like one of those low volume, high percentage, but yeah, he gets to the line a lot. He's the guy that takes the free throws at the end of the game, and we'll forgive him a miss here early or kind of late in the first half.
Almost into triple digits on his. He can also shoot from outside. Hits the right elbow three to extend the lead.
And then he
back
gets
to
a
10.
steal.
A.J. Johnson doing it all. Pass over to the far side, going for it again. Bang! Woo!
He's like, I'm going to miss a free throw, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to knock down 2 threes and get a steal. And a kid.
What a sequence there from A.J. Johnson. 27-14 now the lead for Carthage with 8:22 to go in the first half.
I mean, it's just game after game. It's just A.J. Johnson is so fun to watch. I mean, if you're a basketball player and you want to model your game after someone, I mean, it's hard to pick a better game than A.J. Johnson. I mean, he's so good defensively. As you saw, he gets a steal. And that one, we both were kind of anticipating that second three going up. It felt like it was going in even before he shot it.
He was not happy about missing that free throw for sure, I guess. As you just see the little give and go. Just give it right back to him when the double starts to come over. Easy enough.
And there you can see, got the steal. Griffin Dunn leading the charge, and nobody picking up A.J. Johnson.
In transition, you gotta love it. But a good start for the Firebirds here for sure. Offensively and defensively, they've been playing pretty good up until this point. We talked so much in the beginning about Tyler Knuth, and he really hasn't had an opportunity to get going in this game.
I mean, he's had a couple of shots, but I would say they've been with a hand in his
Contested,
face.
right, yeah.
Contested, and he's had some decent looks that haven't gone down. But I mean, we talk about leading scorers coming to Tarble week after week after week, and it seems like they don't have very good days when they come here to Carthage, and it's because you have guys like Griffin Dunn, you have guys like A.J. Williams, A.J. Johnson. They just make it difficult for anybody to come in here, and just the defense has always been stellar for the Firebirds this season.
Still a lot of time to go, though, here in this first half, so have to continue the momentum that they have gained here so far. See if they can extend that lead past this 13-point mark, as controlling the ball up top will be Kelly. As they work this ball around the outside, looking over to the far corner, driving baseline, back outside, open shot for three, and that one hits off the back rim, but we have a foul called on the floor.
I think Coach Jurkovic saw that play from Augustana on film, because he was yelling after Tyler Knuth the whole way, just like you could see, you know where they're trying to get it to, and Coach Jurkovic was on his team to make sure they deny that opportunity.
As coming off of the screen for the shot, and he gets the roll, is Tyler Knuth, so finally showing up there. Good play to get him open as well.
Yeah, it was almost a similar play that they ran just a few seconds ago there. You can see, I mean, he's got a quick release. I mean, such a good three-point shooter, so any moment of space that he gets, he can knock it down with the best of the conference.
A.J. Johnson passing it outside over for Riley Brooks. Brooks with the turnaround jumper from the mid-range. Hits it to make this a 29-17 game.
I don't think anyone makes more shots that I don't think they're going to even take than Riley Brooks. I mean, it just seems like he's kind of like waiting his time, turn and shoot, knock it down.
Knuth driving baseline, tries to put up the right-handed floater, bounces around, and rebound controlled by A.J. Williams. Looking for the full court pass over to the near side, driving in with the left hand, can't get it to fall is Dawn. And now it'll be back over to the Vikings. Good look on the pass, just couldn't have the finish.
Yeah, I just couldn't wrap that left hand around enough, and that's a spot he likes to get to. I mean, if you take a look at his shot chart, it's essentially all right on that left block, and not able to connect, but still a good look and way to get out in front there.
Knuth finding the wide open man from the elbow, and that three is down by Nicholas Gilberto.
There, it just seems like the offense is able to create some havoc, some confusion, and he was left alone there and capitalize.
Game back down to a 9-point lead for the Vikings. Looking to extend that back from three, but not able to get it to land is A.J. Williams. And now the Vikings will push to try and cut into this lead some more. Down in transition, Knuth was feeling himself, but can't get it to land. Spinning around after picking the balls. Brooks goes in with the right hand. And they're going to call that one, though.
A block, I think.
I think it was a block, yeah. So he'll go to the line for two.
Yeah, that was close. I almost thought that he might have got his feet set on that drive, but what a spin from Riley Brooks. And he had Griffin down there, but you could see, definitely moving underneath there. So great call by the ref.
And he was just, if he kept his feet planted, too, he was outside of that semicircle in the middle there too, so out of the restricted zone where it would have been okay. First one there, up and misses. And we're going to have wholesale changes here from both teams, it looks like. Definitely from Augustana's side, they're bringing a bunch of new players, one of them being Sean Kelly.
Looks like Ambrose is back. I mean, someone you can tell with Augustana, got the ball in his hands a lot, so he returns and see what he can do to try to mix up some offensive luck here for the Vikings.
10-point game right now, 30-20, the lead for the Firebirds, as Larson controlling things from up top. Looking over near side for Kelly, driving in, stops in the paint, almost moved that pivot foot. They don't call it though. And now it'll be Ambrose driving in with the right hand, can't get it to fall. Rebound though to the Vikings. And that one's going to get blocked for Cooper, but I think they're going to call that one a foul, so he'll go to the line instead.
Yeah, that's I mean, must have got him on the wrist there, because it really looked like he got his hand on the ball. But I mean, you can see how talented A.J. Williams is defensively. Just closed out so fast and was able to stay in front, just gets enough of Anthony Cooper's arm to draw the foul. But I mean, you can see there's no looks that are easy if number 4 is draped over you.
Cooper drains the first one. Couple of substitutions again. It looks like coming into the game was Colton Gillingham. He checks back in. And that second one up and good from Cooper. Get this back down to within 8 points. 5:40 left to go here in this first half. Working the ball up court is Siegel. Colton Siegel now finally getting across the timeline, as a player right on him. Dribbles away, picks up his dribble, finds a player in the paint, and the basket is good from A.J. Williams. So doing some good work on the defensive end, gets the basket here on the offensive side.
I mean, you can tell you got to stay out him on the three-point line, because he can knock those down, and there takes advantage of what Evan Ambrose thought he was going to do and just cuts back door. Nice look.
Ball bouncing around and goes out after the shot, and it'll be the Firebirds' opportunity here to get this one down onto the offensive end.
Yeah, Carthage defense doing a great job holding Augustana just 35% on the offensive end. They're sizzling at 59%. So it has been a shooting clinic so far for the Firebirds, but still, I mean, just a 10-point lead. And if you're Coach Jurkovic and the Firebirds, you know, close out this half tough and maintain what you got going into halftime.
Ooh, A.J. Williams had his pocket almost picked, and then he falls on top of the player who was right there. And they're going to call the foul for that one. I think it'll stay here with the Firebirds as a result. See if we can see here as we get the replay. I think they probably just called him for the reach there. A little late on the call there, but definitely looked like it might have been a reach. Either way, 10th team foul, definitely in the bonus with that many, as it'll be A.J. Johnson at the line.
Yeah, and Coach Jordan Delp on the Augustana bench has been pretty animated, really trying to, I mean, his first year at the helm, you know, trying to make his mark. As we talked about Coach Jurkovic his first year, really animated, and you know, Coach Delp's going to continue to grow as a coach, but he has had some success for the Vikings. As a player, was part of 3 CCIW championship teams, so he knows what it takes to win, and he's going to have these Vikings playing tough to the end.
I went over the back there, easy call for the foul that Riley Brooks will pick up. 34-22. Yeah, very animated coaches on either side. That's for sure.
I never know how the refs really, I mean, how they do it. It's just, I refed high school for 1 year, and I'm telling you, the stress of trying to make all the calls right was too much for me. So credit to these CCIW refs who are lenient, and they, you know, they'll listen to the coaches, but they really, you know, don't get over animated, you know, they don't get over into the game. They really do a nice job creating a positive game here.
Speaking of positives, that ball's going to stay here with the Firebirds, but another opportunity for them to increase their lead after the turnover. As that ball will come over on the near side over to A.J. Johnson. Johnson will just pass it off to his brother Ryan as they now work that ball around the outside. Driving towards the baseline as Brooks gets it down inside, but gets the ball knocked away from him. Looks like it'll stay here, though, with the Firebirds, but they're down to 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, Riley Brooks is going to have an easy look there if it wasn't for the quick hands of Colton Gillingham.
A.J. Johnson now with the ball, slips a little bit, but now driving in with the right hand, passing it back outside for 3 at the buzzer, but it doesn't go in. No shot clock violation, and the Vikings will come back down the court. Pass over to the near side to Ambrose. Ambrose picking up his dribble and throwing it back down onto the low block. Coming inside, throws up the right-handed floater. Can't get it to fall with Gillingham, but they get the rebound. And now driving in again, Ambrose, right hand, gets it to fall that time, as we will have a timeout called here. I believe that was for the Firebirds who called that timeout, as they have a 10-point lead.
And I think, you know, Coach Jarakovic telling his team that something that they stressed at the beginning of the year is being tough rebounding-wise. And right now, Augustana, what's keeping them in the game is 7 offensive rebounds. The Carthage is just 1. So on that possession right there, you can see it again. They're able to pick up the offensive rebound and get a bucket. And so Coach Jarakovic calling timeout, I think, to reorganize the troops on the board, on the rebounding side. And, you know, you don't really want to give Augustana any type of momentum here. Just see if you can keep this 10-point lead, continue to get good looks on offense. And, yeah, I think shoring up some of those offensive rebounds is going to be key for Carthage here the rest of the game.
Yeah, because the defense hasn't been bad so far. They've been playing a pretty good defensive game, but like you said, giving these extra opportunities is going to hurt you.
Yeah, 9 second chance points for Augustana. So over a third of their points on second chance opportunities.
Johnson with the ball as they work it around over to A.J. Johnson. Now back over to Ryan.
You see A.J. put a little English on that to get to Ryan.
As the elbow 3 from Colton Sigel does not fall. Quickly working it back up now, the Vikings getting into their set as they look for that player coming off on the far side in Larson. Passing it back over to the near side, it's Ambrose. Ambrose, the nice little move, gets himself free for the free throw shot. Can't get it to fall. Shot from the free throw line, but still 10-point game as Williams will bring it back up court.
Yeah, I haven't seen A.J. Johnson get tied up like that in a while. Ambrose, you can see how shifty and quick he is, but you can do all the dribbling and bouncing around in the world. If you don't hit the shot, in the end, it doesn't really matter.
Shot from 3 again from Sigel. Can't get it to fall. Ryan Johnson with the rebound, puts it back in.
Just carved out some space against number 30, Mike Hamilton. And we just mentioned offensive rebounds have been struggle. How about Ryan Johnson getting 1 for the Firebirds?
Brings it back to a 12-point game. Off the screen goes Hawkins as they work that one back around the perimeter. Driving in, losing the handle was Gillingham, and now streaking down through the middle of the court. Lays it in with the right hand is Riley Brooks.
I can't believe someone couldn't stop Riley Brooks there. He had 2 Augustana defenders and was just able to blast past them, get the finger roll, and an easy 2 points for the Firebirds.
Shot from outside, bouncing off the rim, picked up by A.J. Johnson on the rebound. He'll quickly push this one up court over to the near side. 1:40 left to go in this first half. Looking to the pass over to Ryan Johnson. Drives in, nice Euro step in. Can't get the basket to fall though.
He was so open there. Can't believe he didn't hit that, but what a move, and just the body control to stop. And you said Euro step, just, I mean, found himself with nobody around him, just not able to hit it.
Actually, it was more of a jump stop, I think, than the Euro stop. But either way, correcting myself after I think about it for a second.
I was going with it.
It's all right. As looks like maybe a little bit of a push there to get A.J. Johnson out of bounds. Or did they call him out of bounds? So it looks like maybe they did call that an out of bounds. So it will be Vikings ball. Thought he had a little assistance to get there, but.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're a defender, you're going to get on him a little bit, but yeah, I don't think there's enough to call a foul there on Ambrose, so great no call by the Stripes.
As the ball moves over to the near side, and then we have a whistle. I think it
hit off the foot of their Riley Brooks.
With my view, the way where we are in our bird's eye view, there's a little bit of railing that was just in the way where I didn't see it hit his foot. Either way, baseline 3 drained by Matt Hawkins. Makes this 27-38, 45 seconds left to go. Ball gets into the hands of A.J. Johnson again. Shoots for three. Can't get it to fall this time. And now the Vikings a chance to cut into this lead a little bit more. Ambrose driving in quickly. Throws up the floater. Can't get it to fall. And now it's back the other way. Riley Brooks down the court. He stops as he comes in transition. Hits the three. Makes it 41-27.
I don't know if you wanted him to take a three that early, because Carthage essentially could have got the last shot of the game, but I don't think you can argue with the results.
Right, you're never mad if the shot goes in, right? If it didn't go in, that's when you're going to get mad as a coach. Ambrose driving in, passing it back outside, getting down to the last 2 seconds, top of the key. That three is good from Matt Hawkins. 2 in a row for him from three to make this an 11-point game. 41-30 at halftime, Carthage with the lead.
Yeah, it just really, Carthage got that lead early and just relied on the defense, and if it wasn't for those 2 threes there from Matt Hawkins to keep Augustana within 11, I mean, it would have just been all Carthage this half, but you gotta like what you've seen out of the Firebirds, shooting close to 60%, 52% from the field, and so all going Carthage's way here in the first half. What's coming up in the second? We'll have to see.
Yeah, good first half, though. Regardless, we will take ourselves a quick timeout, and then we will come back here and get ready for the second half.
Doctors of Physical Therapy, Comprehensive Orthopedics, Golden Oil Company, Lee Mechanical, Pepsi, Worley Construction, Triptori Energy, Badger Bus, Fritz Fortan, BSN Sports, Commotion Construction, Catalyst Exhibits, Culver's, the Stella Hotel and Motor, MH Imaging, Waterfront Warehouse, and Haribo. We'll have contestants play a game of knockout for 1 minute, with the winner going home with a free Carthage College sweatshirt. On your marks, get set, go! There's a costliness. And there's the first eliminated, down to 3. 40 seconds remaining. Oh, there's another miss. Do we have an elimination? Not quite. Seconds to go. 5, 4. Final shot. All right, fans. And the buzzer, not quite. All right, fans, let's hear it for our contestants today. While we figure this out, let's take it back to the best pet land in the land with our student conductors, Madison Vasilevich and Jenna Paulson. Take it away.
We welcome you back in here to Tarble Arena. It's Chris LoBosco here alongside Eric Elger. 41-30, the lead for Carthage. At this point, been a pretty good start on the offensive side. They've been getting some pretty good opportunities, some good looks. 13 of 25 from the field, 5 of 12 from 3. One behind in the rebounds, but they've been not giving turnovers and getting turnovers.
Yeah, you can see, just 4 turnovers and a half. It's really clean basketball, and something that I think the biggest factor is that if you look at the Vikings' 2 leading scorers are just shooting 5 of 19 with Ambrose and Knuth. So those 2 players average about 29 points a game, and right now they only have at 11. So there you can see it's really been Matt Hawkins who had 2 points before the last 30 seconds of the game when he knocked down 2 threes. So, I mean, not a whole lot going offensively for the Vikings, and credit to the collective attack of the Firebirds. And offensively, it's been pretty much what the Firebirds have been effective at all season, led by Riley Brooks, A.J. Johnson, shooting well from the floor, combining for 26 points between them, and only missed 4 shots between them. So it's been a highly efficient offensive output, and then Ryan Johnson still steady along the end, and he's really been effective at the free throw line today, as Ryan Johnson 6 of 6 from the free throw line.
Tyler Knuth only shooting 2 of 8, well below his 40%. So very good defensive job that they've done on him so far. But like you said, the usual suspects for the Firebirds, if you're seeing them leading in scoring or at the top of for the Firebirds, that means they're probably having themselves a good game, and the Firebirds are probably having success.
I mean, think of the recipe for being a good basketball team. You want to shoot the ball well, check, 52%. You want to keep the other team off the free throw line. They've done a great job of that. Augustana only been to the free throw line 4 times compared to Carthage 10 of 12 from the free throw line. So they're beating them there. They're beating them in the turnover differential. And really the only thing that has kept Augustana from not being down more is that their bench with 15 points compared to just Carthage's 3. So credit to Augustana having to go a little deeper to find some of that offensive output. But I mean, Carthage is really all facets of the game are clicking, and well, it's going to be a tough ask for the Vikings to get back into this one.
The one thing that they've done well so far, though, for Augustana, second chance points, 9-2, Carthage's 4. So we got a few minutes here before we get back into this one. We will take another timeout, and then we'll come back with the start of the second half here at Tarble Arena.
Being a student athlete at Carthage, you get the best of both worlds, honestly. You get to learn, grow in the classroom, and then also be a part of the sport that you've fallen in love with since you've been playing it. You get the one-on-one support from the teachers, and then you get the help from your teammates as well.
The athletics teams here at Carthage, they're like really good. Some of the achievements that we had during this past year, the volleyball team won the national championship 2 times in a row, like 2 years in a row. So it was incredible to see it because we are like a unit. So it's really nice like to have everyone together and cheering for just one thing.
So the athletic facilities at Carthage, they're new and improving each and every year. We have the baseball, softball, and football field that all of our athletes compete on. There is the Tark, which houses the baseball weight room. There's the actual gymnasium itself, so Tarble Arena for our men's, women's basketball, volleyball. And then obviously the swimming pool that is also in the Tark, and upstairs there's the field house. We've added the Nest, which is a recovery room for all of our student athletes. There's massage guns, there's granola bars, there's other food items. So we have a lot of nice things in that room that you can sign up, take it, and it's completely for free. There's so many great opportunities. The athletic staff's super kind, your coaches care about you. There's just so much that goes into being a student athlete that it's an experience I would not take back.
The Aspire program is part of the Aspire Center, and the Aspire Center is our 4-year career and professional development program here at Carthage College. The Aspire program is really different and unique from other colleges and universities' career programs because instead of what the typical experiences of senior year trying to go get a job or an experience after college, we want students to build their experiences starting from day one. So whether that means going and finding an alumni panel that they're going to learn from an alumni about the career industry that they're excited about, or if it means getting an internship or a research experience that's going to build their portfolio, we want the students to develop and learn who they are so they can really leave Carthage with a very good sense of purpose and understanding before they actually leave the college. Every student that comes to Carthage has their own individual career specialist. This is a person who specializes in the industry field that they're going into. For example, we have a career specialist for our arts, communication, and culture students. This is a person who's been working as a graphic designer for the past 20 years. And she's responsible for helping those students get opportunities and experiences along the way.
I landed my first internship as a freshman at Deloitte, which is #1 of the Big 4 accounting firms in the world. Through the Aspire program, I was able to develop skills that helped me in interviews as well as networking with other professionals.
and back to Sandstorm once again. It's Chris LoBosco here. I've got Eric Elger with me as we get ready for the second half of Carthage versus Augustana. Carthage Firebirds leading right now by 11, 41-30. As we get ready for this second half to start. Augustana not quite out of their timeout yet. Just waiting on them to come out of that, and we will get this second half going. But again, Firebirds with the lead. They kind of were rolling there for a little bit, but it's not a massive lead that they have right now.
No, and you got somebody like Tyler Knuth shooting over 40% from three. He can get hot, and that would be something I would warn the Firebirds about. It's just like you almost know Augustana is going to have another swing in them, and they put up 45 points in the first half against Carthage last time out, so they've got a 45-point half in them, and they're going to need about that many to try and stave off the Firebirds this afternoon.
Right, law of averages says that they will come back around, but not quite yet as Knuth misses that shot. Ambrose passing it back around, back over to Knuth. Knuth this time from inside the three-point line gets it to fall to make it now 41-32.
Yeah, you can see he misses the three, but able to pump fake, get over to the left side, and come back to his right hand to get that shot.
Ryan Johnson now passing it out top of the key for A.J. Williams, and he hits a three, 44-32.
Yeah, A.J. Williams is just such a weapon for the Firebirds. I mean, he locks up the best player on the offensive side more often than not, and has that threat and that big hit ability to knock down a three.
Ryan Johnson's going to go to the line here. I believe it should only be two, but he got fouled by Ryan Johnson. Didn't have that clear landing when he was coming down from his shots. And we were talking about stellar free throw shooters and A.J. Johnson. Well,
this guy's pretty good too.
This guy's not too bad. Only 91% though for Knuth.
Oh.
Hits that first one though.
And this is, if you're thinking of the free throw percentage competition here between him and A.J. Johnson, A.J. missed one today, so hoping to bring that 90. And he is going to get three here.
So it was a three-point play. I just couldn't tell if he was outside the three-point. I didn't think he was, but I guess they said he did jump from outside, as he definitely fell inside of it. Misses the third one, though.
There we go. I wonder if you ask a free throw shooter, is it harder to do the three-point, three free throws in a row when you're so used to just knocking down two?
I would feel like it's probably easier because you're in that rhythm at that point, but either way, what's a good rhythm is if you get 2 threes in a row, but he can't make that second one fall for A.J. Williams. Hit that one earlier, just missed 2 in a row now. As this one comes back inside, moving in with the left hand, gets the roll is Knuth. So we were talking about the law of averages. He was going to have to start hitting those shots, and now he is. A little bit of help with the free throw line, too.
Yeah, what a move there. Just kind of up and under with that left hand, able to get a little English off the glass. And, yeah, you can tell he's hungry. Knuth not going to go quietly this afternoon, and he's been involved early here in the second half.
A.J. Johnson looking down towards the paint for Ryan Johnson, and instead they work it back over to the near side. Brooks losing the handle a little bit. Now the long three, and he gets that one to fall. 47-36. The three-pointers have been hitting for the Firebirds.
That's kind of what I'm talking about with Riley Brooks. It kind of felt like he lost the ball a little bit and just kind of picks it up and then rise and fire. And, man, does he have a quick release, and you have to be ready to guard him every second that he has the ball because that shot can get up quickly.
Forced Ambrose to his left hand, couldn't get the finish, and now the Firebirds will come back down quickly. Another three. This time it's Ryan Johnson. He can't get it to fall. And now they will come back for the Vikings, but they are feeling the three-point shots right now for the Firebirds.
Yeah, Coach Jurkovic always talks about shoot with confidence, and you can tell a lot of guys for the Firebirds are doing just that.
Speaking of confidence from three, Chase Larson will hit his to make it a 39-47 point game.
The three-point shot, not a huge part of Chase Larson's game, just 9 of 40, 23%, but able to hit one there.
Driving in with the right hand and getting the basket is Griffin Dawn. So now a little work inside to get this back to a 10-point game.
And Griffin Dawn's first bucket, and kind of rare. You've seen he's really picked up an offensive role the last few games, so has not been asked to do as much today, but you can see he still got that drive ability.
Ambrose, the quick release, can't get that three-pointer to fall from the left elbow. Quickly pushing it up court now, A.J. Williams drives in towards the paint, hands it back off, looking back inside for Ryan Johnson, picks it up off the ground, and now goes in for the shot, gets blocked, and then it's Marici with the ball off of the deflection, and they quickly go back the other way. Can't get the basket to fall, though, was Chase Larson.
Yeah, there's another one of those quick outlet passes, and away the Vikings go. They're able to force just a little bit of a miss there, and looks like they're going to take a timeout here.
Seeing the lead, it's at 10, but it kind of, you know, they were up to, I think, at 14 at one point.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, really, it's kind of an obvious thing to say with Augustana, but Knuth, I mean, they're going to kind of live and die by Tyler Knuth right now. Evan Ambrose trying to pick up some of the offensive slack, but he's really struggled shooting the ball, just 3 of 13, 0 of 3 from the three-point line, and he struggled there this season. But one thing Evan Ambrose has been able to do is get to the basket. He's so quick, and he's got a lot of those little floating shots that have not hit, but he's struggled offensively so far this afternoon.
The one thing they've done, though, is they seem to be doing a good job, even though he's getting the penetration, at least forcing him to the left hand.
Yeah, they are doing a good job of kind of almost forcing Ambrose to adjust kind of midway through when he's jumping up in the air and kind of switching your hands. That's a good point, and you know that's really credit to the Carthage defense, because they have guys that like to hound the basketball, and that they've really forced a tough shooting night for Augustana so far, as they're just shooting 36%. Carthage at a perfect 50% from the field goal percentage point of view.
Now, one thing we haven't seen here too much, at least in the beginning of the second half, is A.J. Johnson has been sort of the main ball handler, at least a lot there in that first half. The second half here, they've been having him play a little bit more off ball. I don't know if it's to let him have a little bit of rest, because he hasn't spent much time on the bench here in this game, that's for sure. But he also hasn't been the main ball handler. And speaking of which, they immediately inbounded to him, and now he will set the offense up here from the top of the key.
A.J. Johnson, similar to Emma Thistle for the women, just essentially doesn't come off the floor, averaging 34 minutes a game. So,
as the shot from three, no good from Tyler Knuth, as this will now come back over to the Firebirds. A.J. Johnson passing off to Ryan Johnson. Ryan Johnson driving in, makes the move inside, can't get the basket to fall, and now they'll quickly come back to Larson. Over in that far corner, drops it off down low to Marici. Marici looking to work inside on Johnson. Spins back and throws it outside as they now come back to Knuth off of the pick. Can't get the shot to fall. Another three, hits the front of the rim again. And now A.J. Johnson will bring it across the timeline and slow things down.
And both teams pretty similar from the three-point line, shooting 33%. Augustana, Carthage just at 39%, and Knuth continues to struggle from distance.
A.J. Johnson missing his three there, was hot earlier on in the game, missed a couple now from outside. Has the ball back in his hand, dribbling with the left hand, stops on the inside of the paint, passes it back out, looking inside, spins away, shoots. That when a line drive shot didn't fall for Griffin Dawn. And now it'll be Larson coming back up court. Quick pass off to Romero. Gets inside, gets stopped. Spinning away from pressure is Cooper. Now floats that one up from the free throw line and gets it to fall. 41-49, and it's now back to within 8 for the Vikings.
Good move from Anthony Cooper there. Griffin Dawn did a nice job closing out on him. And even though Griffin Dawn stayed in front of him, Cooper able to carve out some space and knock a little bit of a fadeaway jumper. And Augustana just down 8 now.
Dawn driving in from the left side, gets it to fall with the layup. Back to a 10-point lead.
Yeah, I got through some traffic there. Augustana got mixed up defensively, and Dawn slips through.
There's a three-pointer miss from Larson. Quick shot. I don't know if you're going to be happy if you're the coach there. Maybe would have liked to have looked for something better if you're the Vikings, but either way, Firebirds get that one off to Brooks. Brooks to Ryan Johnson, looking for the player coming off the screen, and Williams as they work this one around the perimeter. Dribble drive from Dawn, passing it back over to the near side. Williams fakes the shot, comes back inside, back outside, and now they've got to hurry. They're getting close to the end of the shot clock here, just putting up a prayer. Hits the back of the rim from Brooks, and they're able to get the rebound back, but he gets, I think Ryan Johnson calling, hey, they pushed me out there while I was in the air. So I think the ball should stay here because of the foul.
Yeah, and there's 3 fouls now for Knuth. So, and that was a late call. I think it was almost one of those plays where the ref was going to let it go until, you know, Riley Brooks got kind of knocked out of bounds, and so he almost retroactively
Called it, yeah.
yeah. It's kind of like a soccer ref playing advantage and then calling it back.
Well, A.J. Johnson now driving in, right hand, throws up a high one off the glass, can't get it to fall, and then a foul will come onto the side of the Firebirds. That was Stojic, who just checked into the game.
Just lingering a little too long, trying to get that offensive rebound, and Carthage can afford a foul like that, and Nemi is always going to be someone looking for those opportunities and won't give up on a play.
One thing for sure, not a lot of fouls on Augustana this time in this second half. At this point, they were already getting close to the bonus.
The key there is the one foul they do have is on Tyler Knuth, so that was his 3rd. So it's really quantity, not quantity over quality.
Very true, as there goes Marici, can't get that basket to fall. Rebound though to the Vikings. They're going to get another second chance opportunity, something that's helped keep them in this game. Shot from 3, that one looked good but didn't hit the front of the rim. And we have a foul on the floor, and it looks like it's going to stay with the Vikings here.
Looks like that's on Nemi as well.
Stojic again. Had that one. He's picked up 2 quick ones right there.
Yeah, Nemi, I mean, really is just your off-the-bench fill-in center, and he can play a lot of key minutes and has had some stretches this season. I mentioned against Carroll, also against Illinois Wesleyan when they had the upset on the road earlier in the season. Nemi played a big role in that game too, so it's been a huge bench piece for Coach Jurakovic.
Ricci getting inside, and he will get fouled. I think that one was after the shot. Well, no, they're going to say he was in the shooting, so Marici to the line for 2.
That'd be interesting to see if we see a replay there. That really looked like Griffin Dawn did a nice job of staying straight up, and it looked like a clean block, but the ref saw it another way, and the calls kind of were going against Augustana the first half. Here we can see Carthage picking up 4 fouls just 8 minutes into the game, so you know, will that play a factor? Because if your team like Augustana finds yourself behind, one way, an easy way to get back in the game is at the free throw line, and it looks like it was a foul there.
It was just such a late whistle. I thought it was after the shot that they were calling it, but Marici makes it a 43-51 game off his free throws.
And this is kind of a different crew for the reffing. I not that I know all the refs, but I've not recognized a couple of these on the court tonight. So, you know, just interesting if you trying to adjust to the conference. And I've also had a conversation with some refs in the parking lot after a game. They're like, yeah, you could call a foul every possession if you wanted.
Yeah, you can usually find a foul somewhere if you're really looking for it. Ooh, pocket pick there for Stojic. Now it'll come back the other way. Driving in with the shot was Hawkins. Rebound, though, and they put it back in is number 25 in Gilberto.
And here's kind of that punch I was talking about. Augustana able to cut it to 6, and they've really been hustling on the offensive boards. Again, getting offensive rebound. Their 11th offensive rebound to Carthage's just 5, so it's been a huge factor here in the second half.
Ooh, that one going to have a foul called. I think this time it'll be on number 30, and Mike Hamilton. A little bit of a push there, it looks like, inside. So this one will stay with the Firebirds.
Yeah, fortunate for the Carthage here. I thought that was almost forced in there. It was going to lead to a steal, but Griffin Dawn had good position, able to draw the contact.
Williams working this one around the perimeter to Siegel. Siegel off a screen, passing it back to the player who set the screen. Now over for A.J. Johnson, goes up and under, gets it to fall, 53 to 45, and it's an end one.
Knife through. There was 3 Vikings up there to challenge A.J. Johnson, but just the craftiness midair, the hang time really to go up and under. What a talented young man that guy is. And just seems like, you know, he never forces much. He might miss a few shots in a row, but he stays confident and continues to attack and find his seams where he can be effective. And anytime, as we mentioned before, get to the free throw line, you might as well pretty much count it automatically.
And count that one, the three-point play, the old-fashioned way. Ambrose with the handle up top, passing it over the near side to Hawkins. Now back to Ambrose as they're looking for an off-ball pick. Not much there. Now driving in, spinning away. They wanted the travel call. You can hear from the Carthage fans. But they get the ball anyways. Williams now with the ball up at the top of the key. Started to get trapped, passed away from it. Now looking for the cross-court pass, wide open. A.J. Johnson hits the three, 57-45.
From our vantage point, you could see Ryan Johnson locking eyes with his brother across the court. All Siegel needed to do was set a screen for AJ, really sealed out his defender, and AJ did the rest.
Hawkins now picks up his dribble, top of the key, gets it over to Ambrose. Good screen, frees him up to get inside. Back out to Hawkins, wide open three. No one even close to him, and he hits that one, 48-57. So they had the lead down to 6 at one point. Still within single digits for the Vikings, but for the Firebirds, keeping the offense going.
Yeah, and that was, like I said, that last play, you could see the brothers just a skip pass, and Ryan Johnson saw AJ on the wing there, but you got to think, for the Vikings, I mean, it's continuing to be the Matt Hawkins show offensively. He's got 11 points, 3 of 4 from the three-point line, and he's someone who just averages 5 points a game, so it's more than doubled his season average, and that's kept them alive in this game, and he's come up with some timely shots for the Vikings to keep them in it.
Well, and they need somebody else to step up too when your leading scorer and, you know, probably the best player on your team is in foul trouble in Tyler Knuth. Somebody else was going to need to step up and try and take some of the burden of scoring off of him.
Exactly, and you know, credit to Matt Hawkins, and there you can see Ambrose setting him up. And you kind of wonder, how long does Coach Jordan Delp, how long does he continue to leave Knuth on the bench? You got to figure he's going to get him back out here sometime soon. It's really just about what can Augustana do in the time that he's off the floor, and they've actually gained a little ground since he's been gone. So credit to the bench for the Vikings to step up. And there is Tyler Knuth back on the floor, as we kind of figured and hinted at.
And riding with the hot hand too, though, making sure to keep Matt Hawkins in the game. Like you said, been one of the key reasons why that this game is at least, you know, a single-digit game and not in the double digits right now.
I mean, he's matched Knuth with 11 points and has taken 7 less shots, so really been efficient.
Speaking of efficient, A.J. Johnson with the ball now for the Firebirds. Passes that one off over to Dawn as they work this ball around through their offense. Oh, almost fell there was Dawn, able to get it back away to Ryan Johnson, who gives it to his brother A.J. A.J. now has the matchup off the switch, driving inside, right towards the end of that shot clock. Can't get the ball to fall into the basket. And now the Vikings quickly pushing up was Ambrose as he gets in. Can't get that one to fall. Good rebound though, Ryan Johnson. And now the Vikings will have to come back on the defensive end. Firebirds, good job on the fast break to not allow that, but losing the handle was Ryan Johnson. As Ambrose will have it again. Dishes it off to the far side. Lost handle one more time out to Hawkins. That ball bouncing around on everybody. A little bit of butterfingers here from both teams. And travel gets called for Tyler Knuth.
And he's a little bit fortunate there in frustration, threw the ball at the ref, and he's still telling the refs what he thinks, and you got to be careful here.
Now, he was smart, though. He didn't tell the ref he accidentally threw the ball at. He went and talked to the other ref afterwards.
Yeah, you could see he did not like that, and I thought it was a clean, good no-call situation from the refs there.
Definitely got to make sure that they clean that spot, though, too. Oh, Ryan Johnson getting his pocket picked, and it bounced off of him out. That's 2 in a row for Ryan Johnson, where he just has been losing the ball.
Yeah, active hands there from the Vikings, and they have now forced still just the 7th turnover, a clean game. Augustana only 8 turnovers, Carthage 7. That's both well under their season averages, so it's been a clean game of basketball, and it's really come down to making shots, and for the Augustana side, can they get enough from Knuth?
Knuth misses that one. Hawkins on the low block. Back outside, they work this one around to Ambrose. Ambrose, another, and that's an easy call to make there, is coming off the screen and getting fouled was Tyler Knuth. And you can see his coach calming him down a little bit there. He's getting a little heated. Maybe telling him what he wants to do afterwards, too.
Yeah, you got to feel for Colton Sigel just running through, trying to get through the screen, and it's able to, you could see the
right on the elbow.
The rear end of Ray Marici is able to set Colton off course, and yet he was playing catch up and just catches the elbow.
I think that's the one thing you see a lot from this Augustana team, as the first one is up and good from Knuth. They set a lot of off-ball screens, a lot of low to high picks too. So player coming from baseline out towards the three-point line, because that's what a lot of them have been.
I mean, it's really just Knuth running it, around screen after screen after screen after screen, and yeah, it's tough to keep up with a guy like that when you got people, standing in your way, and Knuth is someone that does not need a whole lot of time to get that shot off, and someone you don't want to see get 3 free throws in a row either.
Makes this a 6-point game. A little bit of a run here for the Vikings to close this lead with 8:13 left to go. A lot of time left in this one, as the Vikings now put a lot of pressure on in this backcourt. That ball goes out of bounds. The Firebirds turn it over. A.J. Johnson, he had to pick up the ball because it was going to be off them anyways, and he just couldn't get it before it hit that line.
Yeah, it ball was just bouncing away, and it was almost able to rescue Carthage from a tough situation, unable to, but they're Augustana forcing a turnover, and they can cut it to a 1-possession game here.
Ambrose with the handle, looking for the screen from Marici, gets inside. Oh, and I think he stepped on the baseline now this time.
And it did look like he got a little bit of a bump, but I think didn't Ambrose get away with a little bit of a bump earlier, so there he didn't get the call.
Either way, ball inbound to A.J. Johnson, and the foul going to get called on Sean Kelly. Looked like he got the elbow there of A.J. So we'll just do the inbound again, which you had a foul to give anyways. So I think you're okay with that if you're the Vikings, to make them force the inbound again.
And this game is getting a little chippy, heated.
Johnson crosses the timeline. Gets it right back from his brother. Hands it off over to Williams. Williams from the top of the key. Passing it back off to Ryan Johnson, looking for A.J. A.J. now going towards baseline, driving in, gets that one to float and hang off the glass and in. And the Vikings immediately come down quickly over to Knuth. Takes the step back 3, rims out, rebound Ryan Johnson.
And Knuth just 1 of 7 from behind the arc.
I think did they call the offensive foul on Ryan Johnson there?
That didn't look like much.
They did call that on him, and Colin bringing his guys in right now as Brooks kind of trying to settle things down here.
Let's take a look here.
Ooh, he gave him a little bit of the you try and that's not one you're always going to call. Either way, Tyler Knuth hits the 3 on the other end to make it 54-59.
Yeah, I knew he was going to I almost felt him making that one after a big turnover for the Firebirds, and especially after I mentioned he only hit 1-3 so far, and there goes Knuth.
Wide open, though. Williams answers right back. A.J. Williams, just when you need it most for Carthage, he comes in and hits that 3.
He's such a timely shooter, and like I said, he's not a high volume shooter, but man, seems like he comes up with a 3-pointer like that when game's starting to slip a little towards Augustana's side. A huge momentum stopper there from A.J. Williams to knock that one down.
Score right now is 62-54 in favor of Carthage. 8-point game.
Yeah, Carthage was leading. Their largest lead was 14 points, and it felt like, they really held on to that lead for a while, but there's been a couple turnovers, especially predicated from the pressure from Augustana that's given Carthage a little trouble, and Augustana's been able to turn those turnovers into points. And yeah, this game is like, we say it, we say it's cliche, but we keep saying it anyway. The CCIW almost always comes down to, the last few minutes, and Augustana proving they're not going anywhere. It's hanging tough.
And for Jerichovic, he let his team talk for a couple minutes for a little bit before he went over there, drew up a play and came back with the play. So letting them talk amongst themselves first before he jumped in there, letting them calm themselves down, which is always good to see a coach do something like that.
Yeah, Coach Jurakovic and even someone like Riley Brooks has mentioned how smart this team can be. And we mentioned earlier in Steve Jurakovic's coaching career, they only won 2 games in conferences first year, and it was a lot of games that were close that they kind of let slip, but he's had this crew with him for a while, and really they've done a nice job of, when they have a lead, maintaining lead and closing it out, and we'll have to see, can they do that against the Vikings tonight?
Still 6:42 left to go in this one. The Vikings trying to close that lead, have the ball. Driving baseline there was Knuth. Tries to go up with the shot, and I think he's going to get the foul call there. Just throwing it up there, just hoping for something, and he got what he was hoping for.
Yeah, that shot was hitting the underside of the backboard, so yeah. he could. You can see Carthage put the trap on him. They almost were able to pry the ball loose from Knuth, but yeah, he sensed he could draw a foul there, and he got one.
So he'll go to the line for 2, try and close the gap here a little bit more, try and get this back to a 6-point game. First one's up and good. I don't know who it was who made that loud noise there, tried to time it pretty well. They didn't do too bad of a job. But you're talking about a guy who shoots 91%, so.
Yeah, I don't think any of those little towels or anything waving around at a guy that shoots 91%. It's going to throw him off too much, but hey, it doesn't cost you anything to give it a shot.
As now he'll shoot his second one here. That one up and good. 62-56 the score now, so 6-point game with 6:32 left to go. And the Vikings here making sure that they get through this trap quickly. Players starting to come from behind. Probably could have picked his pocket if he was smart, but just didn't see the opportunity either way. Controlled by the Firebirds. A.J. Williams dribbling top of the key, pulls up his dribble, passes it over to Dawn. Dawn losing the handle. Ooh, almost lost it there. Manages to keep the dribble though. Ryan Johnson, they try to get a switch off, but Marici stays with Ryan Johnson. Stays up in front, and he's going to draw the foul with Ryan Johnson. He'll go to the line for 2.
I would say not the prettiest possession there for Carthage. Dawn almost lost it, and Ryan Johnson just muscling his way to the basket and just drawing the contact. And if you're Ray Marici, what an assignment. He really was staying in front of him and just not able to stay straight up. And Johnson will get to the free throw line.
Johnson hits the first free throw, getting that lead back up to 7. See if he can hit this second shot to continue adding to that lead that had been dwindling up until this point.
And Johnson really relying on the free throws for his scoring output. He's 8 from 8 from the line. Only has 2 made field goals, but continually to attack it to the line. And I don't know how Knuth got that open.
Makes it a 58-64 game. So just as soon as you see the lead going back up, Augustana answers back quickly. As now looking for Ryan Johnson down in the middle. Knuth managed to not get a foul, just went straight up, and it was enough to deter the shot from Johnson. And Knuth with another basket down on the other end cuts the lead to 4.
Yeah, Tyler Knuth looks like he's on a mission here to will his Vikings back. And Carthage last possession had a great look, just Ryan Johnson couldn't capitalize on the backdoor cut.
See, I think they called a foul there. So A.J. Johnson will look to inbound the ball here. I was about to say, too, he's been a little quiet here these last few minutes. Haven't heard his name much, hasn't had the ball much either.
Yeah, and this is, A.J.'s the type of guy that can kind of go in and out offensively, and he really lets the game come to him. But I think he and his teammates understand that if it gets down to crunch time, they really look for A.J. to lead them offensively.
Pass over to Ryan Johnson now. A.J. Williams passing it over to A.J. Johnson. And now back to A.J. Williams. 5 seconds left on the shot clock, and an errant pass goes over the head of one player, and now come the Vikings. Knuth driving in, puts the shot up off the glass, gets his own rebound, goes up again, and he will go to the line for 2. And he had to get pulled away, it looked like there too, by his teammates. You were talking about it getting a little chippy earlier.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of contact, and Knuth is someone who has definitely got like more of a bulldog mentality.
Plays with his heart on his sleeve, yeah.
Yeah, he is right. He is not someone that is looking to avoid contact. He kind of welcomes it, and I think he's one of those guys too that he loves the challenge, and you can tell that, man, he is on a mission, and Carthage just hanging on to that lead, and Knuth has really brought them back in.
Hits his second free throw there to make it a 2-point game, 64-62. As the Vikings now, closest they've been in a while since the beginning of the game. As the inbound comes through for the Firebirds, A.J. Williams looking to bring this ball up court. The Whitney Young high school alum dribbles it up, almost lost the handle, gets it over to Ryan Johnson. Now back over to the corner, A.J. Johnson with the ball. Tries to go to the right. And I think they called that, I think it was off of Sean Kelly. No, they're saying it was off of A.J. Johnson. So Vikings ball, a chance to tie it.
Yeah, I mean, both refs were right on it, so that was the call they made, and that's a tough one for the Firebirds because A.J. Johnson is looking to go to work there, try to extend the lead, but now Augustana's got a chance to take the lead.
Ambrose going inside, gets the basket to fall, and we're all tied up at 64.
He has missed a lot of those today, but there he just continued to attack and able to get that floater to connect.
4 minutes, 10 seconds left. A.J. Williams dribbling the ball up court. Ryan Johnson coming to help him. Took a little bit of time to get over that timeline, had about a second and a half to spare. A.J. Williams back over, and now they finally get it to A.J. Johnson out in space up top. He's got Ambrose right on him. Gets the pick from his brother, takes the floater, mid-range, drains it, takes the lead once again for Carthage.
He is clutch. I'm telling you, if you look at his stats, the last 5 minutes, he comes alive in games, and what a shot there after getting the monster screen from his brother.
Backing a player down, trying to do work on that low block, gets it stripped away from him, it bounces off of Tyler Knuth, so it'll be Firebirds ball, and you talked about the defensive prowess of A.J. Williams. There it was again.
Awesome job. You could tell trying to draw a foul, trying to get him up in the air, and Williams did not bite is able to stay low and knock the ball free. And what a defensive stop there from A.J. Williams.
Brought up court on the near side by Griffin Dawn. Dawn looking for A.J. Johnson. A.J. Johnson, they're now putting a, ooh, and he gets fouled there, it looks like, by Sean Kelly. A little bit of a hand check, and I think that was almost a little more than that, too.
Yeah, I would say I can see the aggression there, but you got to kind of know the situation. Is this really worth reaching? Yeah, you can see him just kind of slap the wrist there. And again, if there's someone you do not want to foul, it's number 15 in gray, and as we mentioned, number 32 in blue. Two clinical free throw shooters.
A concerted effort to get the ball in A.J. Johnson's hand here as of late, too. And they had been getting it out to him on the wing there a lot, and they've really kind of made sure that they're giving him more room to work with. They've been getting it out more towards the top of the key.
And that means someone like A.J. Williams has had to really take up the brunt of getting the ball across half court. And, you know, he steps up into that role. He's not always, you know, leading the point, but able to do it for his team to free up, as you said, A.J. Johnson. It's a great observation to give him a little more, you know, not using his legs, getting the ball across half court, but able to use his legs to get some shots like he's done.
Yeah, and they were getting him into the offense just too close to that, really closing off any avenues that he had because he was just too close to that far sideline. You let him come out a little more, and now he has more room to work with as we see the replay there of these two star players on either team in Knuth and A.J. Johnson really being the driving forces in this game. Good pick there from Ryan Johnson, too, to free him up for that mid-range jumper.
A.J., man, so smooth there, just knocking down those shots. And, you know, Carthage able to get a 4-point lead here. You're going to know where Augustana is going to work through. It's going to be number 32. Also, we've seen Evan Ambrose continually get to the basket, and last time he knocked down that little floater, so he still has that potential in him to really cut and maneuver to get to the basket, but you got to expect it's going to be Ambrose, Knuth here to bring the Vikings, to try to bring them home.
It's a 4-point game with 3:03 left to go. The Firebirds in a position to win it if they can hold on to this lead. But the Vikings looking for their opportunity to cut back into it, took that timeout to talk things over as we head into this final stretch of the game.
Something to take a look at too is that, you know, we talked about how Knuth's really led the scoring the last few minutes, but the reason Augustana's in this position is that they have 22 points off the bench compared to Carthage just 3. So, you know, when Knuth wasn't hitting early, guys like Hawkins kept them afloat, and that's what really has let Augustana get back into this game, or at least have the opportunity to do so.
Ambrose with the ball now after the inbounds. As Hawkins running off a screen there. Double screen action as now they get it to Knuth towards the free throw line. Swings it back out to Marici. Little pick there, and he gets open for 3. Knuth brings it back to within 1 with 2:43 left to go. Dawn will be the one to carry it up the court here. Gets across the timeline now towards the near elbow. Back outside to A.J. Johnson. Johnson with Ambrose playing some tough defense on him. Goes around the screen to stay with him. Ball comes free for a moment. Dribble, no dribble for Brooks there. Has to pass it away down to Ryan Johnson. He goes inside. Good job by Marici to just stay straight up. Ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be Vikings ball. Johnson tried to muscle his way in there, but Marici stood tall and also made sure to not foul.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson, you could say, was really trying to almost hook that defender's arm as he was going up to the basket. And credit to Marici. I mean, that's 2 plays that, you know, don't really go in the scorebook, but he was able to seal off for Knuth to get that open look, and then there making a strong defensive stop.
Larson handling the ball at the top of the key. Off-ball foul. I think this is going against the Vikings. And I believe we are in the bonus right now. So this should be free throws for Knuth.
and as we said, a 92% free throw shooter with an opportunity to get Augustana's first lead since
Probably the beginning.
I'm
They
gonna have
even
to-
have a lead, right?
You're right.
I think it's been the. Oh, but he misses that free throw. Huge miss from a 90% free throw shooter. She'll lead the Firebirds back down the court. A.J. Johnson in a timeout taken here. Good timeout.
Ooh, this is getting close here. Yeah. Wow. Knuth misses a big free throw there. And if you're Carthage, you've mentioned it, they're really working through A.J. Johnson. They almost lost the ball a couple times. Really, they're going to have to keep control of the ball, value the basketball. And if you can for Carthage, I think, can you get to the free throw line? Can you get guys like A.J. Johnson to the free throw line and force Augustana to foul or potentially, get an and one possession? And it's, oh man, this game, it's crazy in the CCIW. It just, again, it felt like Carthage cruising up by 11, up by 14 at some point. Now here we are under 2 minutes. It's a 1 point lead.
The one thing, too, for the Firebirds to be conscious of as well is that if you foul again, it's double bonus time for Augustana. So you've got to be careful with the fouls that you commit, too.
Yep.
Not just trying to draw the ones on the offensive side. And obviously, you would imagine that the ball they want to get into the hands of their best free throw shooter and probably their best ball handler in A.J. Johnson. Go over to Ryan Johnson here. 1:45 left to go. Oh, that was almost a travel there. Either way, it's going to be Williams losing the handle. He's been so sure-handed so far, but the ball went off of a Viking player, so it will stay with the Firebirds, but 8 seconds on the shot clock. Johnson driving in, gets the foul. He'll go to the line for two.
That is some desire there from Ryan Johnson. He's playing a little bit like he is mad right now. He looks angry out there, and he was taking that thing through the defender no matter what was in his way, and able to coax his way and get to the free throw line, just steamrolling to the basket.
Johnson's first up and good, makes it a 2-point game, 69-67. As substitutions come in here, there was a little bit of a break that happened for Matt Hawkins, and he will see his way back onto the court. Tyler Knuth as well. I think we're doing the offensive, defensive subs.
Yeah,
as part of it.
Yeah, trying to protect Knuth. You don't want to get him his fourth foul. I mean, there's really doesn't matter. You got 2 to burn with only 1:30, but yeah, just protecting them a little on the defensive end.
That one rims out, so now it'll be into the hands of the Vikings. 2-point game separating these teams. Ambrose up the court, calling out what he wants. Hands that one off, gets it right back, looking for something down inside, trying to set the screen. Knuth comes up for 3. That one rims out. Rebound going to the Vikings, goes back up with it, but can't get it to fall. Was Larson, and then Johnson with the rebound, and he gets fouled. So I believe he's going to go down. We should be in the bonus now for the Firebirds.
Wow, really thought he was going to come up with that and get to the basket, draw a foul, but Carthage able to stay clean, knock it out of the hands, and Knuth, boy, did he have a good look there. It really feels like almost impossible to stick around, stay in front of Tyler Knuth after, running through the gauntlet of screens, and Griffin Don's been doing his best job, but
and he's setting some screens too, Knuth. They're trying to get some action off of him. So that way they have to really consider who they're going to block. Misses the first on the bonus, and now it's an opportunity to come back down. Ambrose gets a little bit of a bump there, and timeout is called by the Vikings. 1:06 left. Not a bad time to take a timeout. Draw up the play you want if you're the Vikings.
After being perfect at the free throw line up until this point, Ryan Johnson missed 2 huge free throws there. And, it's going to be interesting to see how crucial those were. But here you can see Knuth running through screens. Don's almost there, but not able to get enough. And take a look at some of the team stats right now. Augustana just shooting 36%. Carthage 47%, so the shooting percentage well in Carthage's favor, but it's really been Augustana crashing the offensive rebounds, 15-5 against Carthage. And Knuth has come alive here in the second half, and you know, you almost think Knuth's got another three-point bucket in him, which is somebody as talented of a shooter as he is. Currently just shooting 8 of 21 from the field, 3 of 11 from the three-point line, but he shoots over 40% on the season, so you know, the averages say that, yeah, I would bet Knuth's got another one in him, but it's going to be what can Carthage do to maintain this lead.
Have to look out, though, for number 12 and Matt Hawkins. He's been one of the hotter hands. And, of course, Ambrose, too. Evan Ambrose been the main ball handler for this team. Hawkins going over towards the far side baseline. Ambrose off the screen, trying to dribble drive. Now hands it back off, spinning back inside. It's number 24. Can't get it to land as Larson. And that one, I think they said that was off of the Firebird, so it's going to be Vikings ball. And they gave him a fresh shot clock, it looks like, too. 20 seconds still on there.
Yeah, that ball did rim out. That went up.
Yeah, it did. Oh, yeah, that's right.
So
I didn't see it hit the rim.
Yeah, I think, right, there's a, under review, it'd be interesting to see what for.
Might be just making sure of time.
And again, should probably look these up in the CCIW rulebook, but I don't know, can they review a out of bounds, like one of those tip balls that goes out of bounds? Because that could be something like you see who it came off of last, because I thought, you know, Griffin Dunn had an argument there that came off of Augustana.
The one thing that I wonder, even if they can, is do they have a good view? Because if you look at where there is a baseline camera, but that baseline camera is on the other side, it might not have the best view. From our angle, it was tough to tell regardless, because we're up in a perch basically overlooking the court, and we're from where we are on the left side of the court, which is on the opposite side of where the action was happening. So we didn't have the best view here. They also could just be checking shot clock and stuff like that too, making sure time is correct while they have the momentary opportunity to look. This is a timeout, by the way, that was the Firebirds' timeout, so probably talking over things defensively. Also give your guys a rest on the defensive end, had a little bit of time there on that possession.
Yeah, this is going to be a big possession, because Carthage, if they're able to corral it, they can run 30-second, you know, really work the clock to get a shot that might get them up to 2 possessions. And, you know, Augustana, they're not going to be, you don't think they're going to foul if they miss the basket here, but boy, is this a crucial possession here. And the ref's still talking about something.
Well, one thing for sure here too, while you know, he even tells them to go back to the other side, the one thing for the Vikings as well, you want to have a quick shot in this one to have another shot at the end based on what the clock is at right now, because we're at 49.5, so you want to have a shot before those 19 seconds are up. So looking for the inbound play here, looking to go inside. They go to Marici. Marici comes back out and stepping in front to get the rebound. Believe that was A.J. Williams getting in front of the taller Marici.
What a good play call. I mean, that caught everybody, I think, by surprise. I mean, you would think Coach Jordan Delp probably running some screens to try to get someone like Knuth open or even Ambrose, and that ball got passed right into Marici and had a decent look at it. Wasn't far away, but credit to A.J. Williams sticking his nose in there and able to secure the basketball, and here comes some clutch free throw shooting, and this is what Carthage has been so effective at this year, is when they get to the free throw line at the end of games, they're able to capitalize.
And then he hits the first one, makes it a 3-point game. Big one here if he can make it a 2-possession game. If he can hit this next free throw, we'll see if A.J. Williams can extend that lead. Second one hits the bottom of the net. 4-point game, 2-possession game. Ambrose quickly down the court, looking for Knuth. Off the screen, can't get the 3 to fall. And now A.J. Johnson gets the ball and will go to the line. Double bonus, I believe it should be 2. So he will go to the line for 2.
It will be 2, and yeah, you can see Carthage secure the rebound. Nice job by Griffin Dawn, really extending that arm out to get the basketball, and you could see then once they got it, it was quick, hot potato, fine 15. Let them take us home.
33 seconds left in this one. First shot up and good. Extends it to a 5-point game. Still a 2-possession game at this point, even if you hit the next one. But much harder to get 6 than it is to get 5.
Augustana has still 1 timeout left, so if he makes it, he might call timeout to get it across half court, or they're just going to run it through. Yep.
No timeout taken here. Ambrose quickly across the timeline. Oh, looked like he was going to take the 3. Gives it off to Knuth instead. Looks like he almost lost the handle. Goes in, gets fouled. Foul's going to get called. I think that's going to go on Griffin Dawn. So Knuth, I think he was inside the 3-point line, though, so I think it's only 2. But still can cut this game down.
Oh. Yeah, it's tough if you're Griffin Dawn, because obviously you know how.
Well, they might be reviewing this one to see if it's 3 or 2.
Yeah, if his foot was on the line. I mean, you know how tough of a shooter Knuth is, and so he really did everything he could to stay in his face, but credit to Tyler Knuth, man, just keeps pump fake, and able to draw the foul, and he is very lethal.
No quit, that's for sure.
From the free throw line. So another review here.
If this is 3 points, it's big because it could be back down to a 1-possession game.
And you're right, yeah, I was mentioning Carthage never has been behind in this game. And so, I mean, Augustana, credit to them. And again, just how deep this conference can be is so somebody like Augustana, you take a look at their wins and losses, 10-7, but man, they've really given Carthage everything they could handle and more here. And this is where crunch time, every possession, you know, you got to keep control of the ball, don't turn it over. And hopefully your free throw shooting has been a weapon all year for the Firebirds. Hopefully that can take you home if you're the Birds.
2 shots.
2 shots.
That was the part I was listening to for most, was to see whether it was 2 or I thought it was only going to be 2, and obviously they verified that. So again, will be a 2-possession game after this shot, but you can get it down to a 4-point game if you hit both of these for Knuth, who missed one uncharacteristically earlier, but hits that first one there.
Another thing you got to be careful with Carthage here is you really got to box your guy out. I mean, Augustana, again, 16 offensive rebounds, and if they pick up a miss here, that would be huge for the Vikings. So seal out your man, control the ball.
Drains the second one, and timeout.
Get another free throw shooting weapon there, and Colton Sigel shoots 83% from the free throw line, so they can get it back to him.
Looking to get the inbound here, and then wisely a timeout by Siegel. Not able to get the ball in bounds, didn't want to get the violation there and turn it over. So you had 2 timeouts. Take one of the timeouts.
Yeah, nice decision there by the senior Colton Siegel. And yeah, I mean, Carthage is trotting out a lot of elite free throw shooters. It's just, you know, can you get the ball in bounds? And also, you know that trap is going to come, secure the basketball, absorb the foul. And you just got to continue to be clutch from the free throw line. And boy, this game has really been very, very tight. I mean, you take a look at the free throws. Augustana 17-19, Carthage 20-24 from the free throw line. If you take a look at some of the stats here, similar in 3-point shooting. And really, I think you can see is Augustana has 17 more field goal attempts than Carthage, and so that has been a huge point there. And there's the 20-second chant points. So if you're Carthage, you know, if Augustana is going to take a shot, you really got to crash the boards and secure those rebounds.
Can't give them any extra opportunities down the stretch for sure.
Watch Coach Sherkova got, drawn up here to get his guys free.
And the important thing right now is just inbound the ball. Nothing else really matters at this point. Obviously, you don't want to turn it over after you inbound it as well. But step one, inbound the ball. So coming off there, they do get it into the man you want to get it into, but they haven't fouled them yet. Oh, he turns it over! Oh, but they blew the whistle right after that happened. I think they are going to call a foul on the Vikings. For a second there, it was a late whistle. I thought maybe it was a turnover by A.J. Johnson.
And that could have been a jump ball because he almost had it tied up. Man, A.J.
Wow.
That would have been huge for the Vikings. If we take a look here, I mean, he's got a lot of contact. You can see his hand on the wrist.
Oh yeah, it was just a very late whistle. I don't know if the ref missed his mouth or what, because that was pretty obvious that it was. And he makes it pay.
But that was a tense situation for sure, because they knew they got it to the guy they want, shoot the free throws, and Augustana collapsed with 3 defenders, and credit to A.J. Johnson, able to do just enough to get it out of there.
This will get the game back to 6 if he makes it, which he does. So now quickly up court goes Ambrose, dribbling out, looking for a deep 3 from Knuth. Can't get it to fall. And now the rebound by A.J. Williams. That should seal this one for the Firebirds. A good rebound there by Williams to get out in front. He has had a couple of timely rebounds for the Firebirds in this game, and now he goes back to the line to seal the game.
Yeah, I think A.J. Williams has done, I mean, you can see, take a look at his scoring sheet, 10 points. He's got 2 assists, 3 rebounds, and every one of those rebounds has felt like it's come in a huge moment and been a contested rebound. So, again, role players for the Firebirds. A.J. Williams has had some timely buckets, some timely rebounds. And he's going to knock down both of the free throws here.
Big free throws to seal this game. Ambrose with the quick 3. That one won't go. And Ryan Johnson looks to try and just dribble this one out. 1 second left. And that is a win for the Carthage Firebirds, 77-69. Like you said, these CCIW games, they come down to the wire, and Carthage able to walk away comfortably with this one.
Yeah, I'm out of nails here. I've been biting them as it got so close. But again, I think what the difference of Carthage this year is in years past is they know how to close out and win games. And even though Augustana did their best to fight back, led by, we had Hawkins knocking down shots, Knuth knocking down shots, even though, it felt like Carthage was letting it slip a little bit, they're still able to maintain composure and rise above in the end.
In the end, the Carthage starters ended up being one of the differences in this game, that's for sure. But the 77-69 win here, I mean, big moving forward for them in conference play.
For sure. This is something that Coach Sherkova talks about. You got to control home court. I mean, it's going to, with as tight as a race at the top of the CCIW is, it might come down to just what one of those teams is going to slip up in a game that, maybe they shouldn't lose, or maybe in terms of record, they didn't look like they were going to lose, but Carthage found themselves in a similar trap kind of game, and again, able to come out on top. Credit to guys like A.J. Johnson, A.J. Williams, were able to really maintain the pressure and continue this Carthage winning streak as they keep going, marching forward.
Well, A.J. Johnson, the leading scorer, too, for this Firebirds team with 29 points in this contest. The leading scorer for the Firebirds had 8 of 12 for his field goal shots, 4 rebounds, too. Only 2 turnovers, which is one of the keys as well. Riley Brooks follows it up with 16 points, 6 of 11 shooting for Brooks, 5 rebounds for him as well. And then Ryan Johnson, 13 points. Didn't have the greatest night from the field goal from shooting on the floor, but a lot of free throws to help seal that one away. 14 rebounds, so a double-double for him. But A.J. Williams, 4 rebounds in the game. I think 2 of those were 2 of the biggest rebounds the entire night, and he threw in for 12 points as well.
Agreed, and I swear, A.J. Johnson, that's like some of the quietest 29 points, I think. I've been following this game this whole time, and man, it just, the way that he just flows with the offense, goes with the game, only missed 4 shots, missed 1 free throw. It's just so efficient, and yeah, I think you pointed out Ryan Johnson, credit to him. It wasn't really going offensively, but able to get to the free throw line and able to get 14 huge rebounds, and Knuth with 30 of his own. And I think if you're Carthage, he's gonna get his points, but to hold him for 8 to 23 from the field, I mean that is the difference. And guys like Matt Hawkins and Ambrose Cooper just not able to make up enough of those points for the Vikings.
Yeah, Matt Hawkins with 11 in this game, 4 of 6 for his shots. Evan Ambrose, 4 of 16, that another one as well. Ambrose just not getting those shots to fall early on in the game. Started to come along a little bit later. Did have 4 assists though, and Anthony Cooper rounds out the scoring leaders for Augustana with 6, 2 of 6 for him. So just not enough help outside of Tyler Knuth, even though you did have good bench points. The problem was you didn't have much from your other starters.
Yeah, and I think you look at some of the starting fives and their statistics. Carthage has got one of the best starting fives in the conference by far, and just a credit to Carthage maintaining composure when things started to go. You could see even Augustana like trying to mix it up a little bit, being a little more physical. They're jawing a little bit more, but I mean there aren't many guys on Carthage who is going to really fall into any kind of trap like that. And they just have, I've talked with Coach Jurakovic. It's like, do you recruit specifically guys that just show little emotion? I mean, A.J. Johnson just goes out there with just a cool, calm demeanor. And really, it was just Ryan Johnson who got angry and fired up and got 2 huge free throws.
So you can see here, 22 bench points there, 18 in the paint for Augustana. But the big difference here for the Firebirds, they were efficient with their shots, even though they didn't get as many second chance points or anything like that. We will take a quick timeout, and then we'll come back with our coach's interview, so don't go anywhere. We welcome you back in here to Tarble Arena. We are now joined by Coach Steve Jurakovic. And Coach, congratulations on the win. A good defensive effort from you guys. You really made it tough on them on the defensive end. They shot for volume, but they didn't score in volume.
Part of the reason they shot for volume is we did a poor job on the boards. And we did not check well enough. They had 16 offensive rebounds. They went to a bigger lineup that we knew is not a perimeter-based team, not a skill out there like they used to be over years past. They just went with big guys and said, let's run through you. And that was their mindset today. They wanted to be the more physical, aggressive team. Kind of bit them a little bit in the first half. Second half, we didn't handle their pressure nearly as well. So something we got to adjust to. Our 2 keys were make Knuth, make Ambrose's life very difficult, and I thought we did 50-50 on that. Knuth got his 30 points, took 23 shots to get there, and I'm fine when he hits shots. But when you put a career 95% free throw shooter, one of the best players in the conference, and you put a 95% free throw shooter to the line 13 times, bad stuff usually happens.
And credit to you guys. I mean, we kind of joked about how you've had some slow first halves. This game is kind of the reverse of what we've seen the last few games. You guys came out firing in all cylinders in the first half, and it was just in the second half when it got close. But I think credit to your team is that even though when teams have had a run in them, it seems like the Firebirds and your team has really stayed calm and don't, that even if there's a momentum going, it's like you're still able to stop that from happening completely.
You know what, I'm proud of them for that, because there were some frustrating moments in the second half. We didn't do a good job handling. They're an experienced basketball team. They got 8 seniors out of their first 9, a 5th-year guy in Knuth, who, like I said, is an all-region type player, all-American type player, and I thought we were solid for about 20 minutes. And give them credit for disrupting it. Give them credit for changing defensive styles, philosophies in the second half too to get after you. But we need to do a way better job handling pressure, and it starts, when we come back on Tuesday to get ready for a really aggressive North Park team on the road.
Yeah, and one guy I'd like to kind of give a little shout out to is just A.J. Williams. Seemed like he played a huge role. At some point he had to bring the ball up across the court, and it just seemed like he didn't have a ton of rebounds, but when those 4 rebounds he had, felt like they came at crucial times, and was also very timely in his shooting and knocking down some of those open threes.
It's not easy, and he's the guy that doesn't get nearly enough credit, right? We got guys that are scoring 15 points, 17 points, 18 points a game, and he's the guy that's fighting through and battling through every single screen. He's the one who's chasing Knuth across the gym on the perimeter. It's hard. You get gassed running off screens, fighting through screens, getting hip checked on screens, trying to contest, and then say, oh, by the way, go get the rebound at the end of the game too. So give him credit. Him and Griffin Dawn have been our rocks this entire first half of the year, and I'm just super proud of them, and this is a great time to have your bye on a Wednesday. We need time to get healthy. We need time to recover and probably mentally lock in for this stretch run.
And you mentioned that you have a tough North Park team that you have to go up against next. It was a tough loss to them last time, lost by 1. What's going to be the key going into this break to get ready for those guys and making sure that you can turn that around and have that a win?
Handle their pressure, keep them off the offensive boards. Will be very successful for the last month of the year. They're a talented team. They're well coached. They're so organized this year in their pressure and their offensive space that they get you on, and they're a really tough matchup for anybody that sees them. It's a nightmare. You have to adjust differently when you see them compared to a lot of other teams, and give them credit for that. So we got to be ready to go. So bye week coming at the right time. Get us healthy, get us ready to go, and come back to work Tuesday, and let's go out to Chicago on Saturday.
Coach, thank you for your time. Appreciate it, and congrats on the win.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, that's going to do it here for us, though. Eric, a good win for Carthage as they win 77-69. Like you heard Coach say, they've got a tough road ahead, but definitely something that they can handle.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of funny to think about, you needed a quick little breather from the screens that were just, some of these guys had to run through repeatedly, and guys like Dawn and Williams and even Johnson, it was a physical game, and it seems like a nice time for Carthage to get regrouped, and no better, time to get regrouped before one of the best teams in the conference. You want to get revenge on them. They came up, they beat you on your home floor, so you'd expect Coach Jurkovic and them boys to be ready in Chicago.
Without a doubt, but that's going to do it here for us. 77-69, the win for the Firebirds over the Vikings, and that's going to do it here for us here in just a moment. We do have a couple of things here. Executive producer Mike Love, John Voinovich, thank you. The producer here tonight, as you also have our director and Natasha Mizera, Marissa Simon with graphics, replay, Owen Olko, and our camera crew. And this has been a presentation of the Firebird Broadcast Productions and Carthage College 2025. Any final words, Eric?
No, I just got to say I'm glad they came out on top. It got close, but boy, am I looking forward to watching the game next Saturday, a clash of the Titans between Firebirds and North Park. So that will be a good one. You'll want to tune back in for that.
And we will see you next time.